In this lab, we are going to see how to create a RESTful web service. We are going to use localhost exam server for hosting the service. However, we will use the endpoint testing tool such as Postman or ARC Advanced RESTful Client that can be used in Chrome browser to test the API that we created. In particular, this lab talks about the creation of a simple web service that shares mobile phone details and provide endpoints to the user. This concept have been already covered in the theory class. However, in this lab, we will see how to connect the MySQL with the program that you have written to fetch the details of the phone information by using endpoints. Now let us see how the endpoint is looking like. We have an endpoint called as localhost to say that the RESTful API is running in the localhost actually. And as I told you that we are going to use the exam server htdocs folder to keep our RESTful API that we created inside. Hence, we need to have the localhost in the URL. REST example is the name of the RESTful API, and then we are going to use the mobile file and we are going to list the information. It looks something like this. Yeah, here, if you see, this is the advanced RESTful client by MuleSoft that we need to install from the internet. Okay, and then when you install it, it will give you the API client interface wherein we are going to type the endpoint. In our case, it is going to use the GET request, hence we have selected guest. Otherwise, you can select any other functions as well, other type of request as well. Localhost REST example, as we discussed just now, and the mobile file that we are trying to open, and we are going to list the uh, all the information coming from the mobile uh, app, okay, which is actually bringing these values from the database. Okay, so here it looks like this. Now we have one more endpoint. Let us test that endpoint too. So here we have the details to just give about the first first product in the file. So okay, now we see that the information about only the first product or first mobile is given here. The additional thing what we have to take in consideration is that if I delete the accept header folder, okay, now what is this accept header folder? These are the two things that we need to configure in the endpoint testing tool. This is like, for example, the method get is to be selected and then the URL has to be given. This URL is nothing but the endpoint. The header should be added and the header type will be accept. And you can choose to view the return or the values that are coming from either of these endpoints to be in the form of JSON or XML or simple HTML. So these three things has to be given in the ARC client that we have done downloaded. Okay, I will show you the process of download little later. Now I'm trying to give you the demo of how the application RESTful API is working. So here, the first step what we need to do is select the get method, give the endpoint, and then add the header as accept, and the values will be one of whatever you want. Either you want to display them in a form of JSON or XML or HTML or plain HTML, you can decide. Okay, so now let us take it in a form of JSON. So then you send this, you will see the information coming in the response. This response is actually coming from the SQL database through the local host server. Okay, because this is RESTful API, we need to have a RESTful client to display this. And this is the API client provided by Advanced RESTful Client. So here, let us delete, let us use XML and see how the data will come. Then select this. Okay, so this is the XML data. You want to check this in the HTML is also possible. So text HTML, and you see a table have been created. Okay. And this is in the form of HTML text. Now, in order to run, okay, so this is how the RESTful, the local RESTful client is tested, okay, and web services created. Okay. Now let us see the process of doing these things from the starting. That was all the demo that I wanted to give you to show how the program is running and giving us the output. So in this case, as we said, we are going to create a simple RESTful API, and we are going to use the RESTful client to give us the response. In this case, the RESTful API, what we have used is ARC client. Okay. So let's get started. First of all, you need to make sure that the you have the required files, which is provided to you in a folder called as week 9. Okay, how does it look? It looks like this. Um, lab 6 and the file given to you. Okay, so then you're going to make sure that the exam is up and running. So open this and it will be running. So usually we have stored it in D colon, but I have stored the exam in C colon. So I am going to go to the C colon, and then I'm going to click on the exam control. So the control panel is now showing me that both servers are running. So this is a basic thing that you need to do because our server is kept inside the MySQL server. Our database is kept inside MySQL server. Now you need to unzip the REST example folder that have been given to you, and you need to copy it into the htdocs. So we went here, and in the htdocs, as you can see, I have RESTful example. Okay, so this is the RESTful example. Now here we need to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 files minimum. So one is called as the mobile, okay, PHP file, and then we have mobile REST handler, then we have REST controller, and then we have a simple REST. All these are PHP files that have been discussed with you in the theory class. Okay, so we have these files copy pasted inside the htdocs. Okay, and now we need to go to this URL. Okay, but this URL might not be working because the Chrome doesn't support this directly. So what we can do is we need to go to the mm, uh, go to the google.com, and then type type advanced REST client download for Windows version. Or if you're using Apple, use the name of operating system there. Okay, and then click on install. When you click on install, it is going to take you to the it will give you the link of the GitHub. If you go to the GitHub, okay, it will give you the so many versions that are available for download. Set up the one that suits you. For in my case, I have Windows system, so I have used setup.exe, and then I am going to just run it. Okay, so that's a simple. Once you click on this, the simple install process starts. You just need to click on agreeing the license, and then click on next. Once it is downloaded, okay, you will see this page, okay, this client page coming up by itself. Okay. So here what you need to do is you need to go and copy paste the endpoint here. Okay. Make sure that the header. Okay, I will just delete the header and add it again once again. So you're going to click on the add. Okay, and then here check the header type as accept and tell that in what format you want to see the response. So select one that you want to view and then click on send. And here you see this is running. This API is giving you the output. So this is very simple and very short lab. So you can just try it yourself and run and submit the homework. So here you need to run and copy paste. So these are the two outputs that we saw just now. And this is about the web service, which is holding an array of information related to mobiles. So here is the database and here this is how it works. So you need to just keep the screenshots of your running app here and then you need to submit. Thanks. I hope that is clear.